Okay, it's normally working by now. It is normally working by now. Hello? Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football, the Mark Goldbridge That's Football channel. We are doing watch along for you today and we're doing Arsenal versus Sheffield United. There's lots of 3 o'clock games we're going to keep an eye on. I can tell you that Martinelli is starting for Arsenal with Pepe and Ozil and then Lacazette up front. So Aubameyang obviously carrying a bit of an injury at the moment, which actually I wasn't aware of. But I can give you the team news for Arsenal versus Sheffield United. It's Leno, Maitland-Niles, Mustafi, David Luiz, Xhaka. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. The team news is this for Arsenal. We got Leno, Maitland-Niles, Mustafi, David Luiz, Xhaka, Torreira, Xhaka, Pepe, Ozil, Martinelli, Lacazette. I think that defence of Arsenal can really be got at. Xhaka I like, but I don't think he's a light left back. Mustafi we know has got mistakes in him. Not much of a bench for Arsenal either. I mean, Ceballos, I don't know why he doesn't start anyway. Holding, Martinez, Willock, Guendouzi and Keita. But with Sheffield United, they've got Henderson, Basham, Egan, O'Connell, Baldock, Lundstram, Norwood, Fleck, Stevens, McBurney, Muzet, and it's pretty much their strong team, really. I don't know why Ravel Morrison doesn't get involved more with the Sheffield United side. I mean, look, probably just not good enough anymore, I suppose. But yeah, red card for Aubameyang means he's suspended. Sorry about that. I don't follow Arsenal that closely, obviously, but I'm aware that they got that he did get the yellow card. Just putting a tweet out. Haven't got the timer set either. Let me just get this up for you as well. Oh, I tell you, I just want to have a relaxing stream today. I really do just want to have a relaxing stream, and straight away I can see there's a bloody problem with the system that I'm using to watch football. If I can say that, it's not working, which is just great. But how are you all doing anyway? Radmagon's depressed, which we don't want to see. And can you give us update on Bruno or not, Mark? Says Louis Ball. I'll talk about Bruno in a moment. Zane says, Mark, you ready? Come on, you Gunners. Spurs drew. What a pub team they are. I think Spurs are out of the top 4 race. I said that on my preview yesterday. I think they're definitely out of the race. And I think that that might well be the case with a lot of teams. I think if Manchester United lose to Liverpool tomorrow and Chelsea win in the 5:30 kickoff, that will be top 4 gone. I've got to be absolutely honest with you. That is my opinion. I think top 4 is gone for Spurs anyway. I think it'll be gone. I think it's gone for Arsenal. And I mean, look, Chelsea, they could have a collapse, of course, but I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen to them. Mark, surely Arsenal are going to lose, says Lachlan Oberg. I predict an Arsenal to win this 2-0. Actually, I think that they probably will win it. So. Yeah, I will get the timer up and running in a moment, but I'm just I'm struggling to watch it at the moment. Hi Mark, what do you think of Shrewsbury, my home team, getting Liverpool in the FA Cup? Hope all is well, says the Royal Mail. Well, I hope you beat them, but I mean, look, whether he picks his reserves or not in that FA Cup game, the point is that they did beat Everton, didn't they, quite comfortably at home. So I think that they'll be quite confident in that one. Quietly confident or actually vocally confident probably. So I think that will be a very tough game for you, but I think, you know, it'd be nice for somebody to knock Liverpool out, certainly. Right. Oh God, this was all set up before I started. Okay. Right. How are you watching the match, says Rahul Shah. Yeah, do you want me to give you my bank details as well, Rahul? Use your imagination. And thank you very much. That's great. I'm doing all right, John Wynn. We're going to talk about Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes in a moment. But please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. I realise I have to get the timer up and working for you as well. It is Arsenal who are on the attack at the moment, but we are keeping an eye and We are keeping an eye on the other 3 o'clock games as well, of which there are quite a few. Man City at home to Crystal Palace. Remember, they did lose to Crystal Palace this time last season. I don't suggest for 1 minute that they're going to do that this season, but I think City have actually found some good fortune recently, so I think they'll be all right. But yep, timer should be up and working for you as well. Where is it? There it is. Bang. There we go. Right. Yeah. So look. From a Manchester United point of view, it's probably quite funny, isn't it, in relation to the Bruno Fernandes scenario with United at the moment. We've been really mugged off by the press in many ways. Apparently Manchester City are winning 1-0 already. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's been a good break here from Sheffield United, running towards the goal. And David Luiz makes the tackle. And that goes for a goal kick. Good tackle by David Luiz, actually. So, yeah, the Bruno Fernandes thing. I mean, we got mugged off yesterday by Sky Sports, basically. They had somebody out in Lisbon who was pretty much saying that it would be Bruno Fernandes' last game. And he would say goodbye to the fans and the players. And he didn't really do that. Doesn't mean it's not his last game, but he didn't really do that. And then early evening, we had sort of news that Manchester United and the deal with Sporting Lisbon was quite far apart. And then that's transpired to be the case today as well, with a lot of people saying that. Shot on goal there from Pepe, easy save by the keeper. It's 0-0 in the City game, by the way. And we have got to get rid of Jan Man. He's a twat. Bye-bye, Jan Man. So yeah, we got mugged off really by the press yesterday. It appears to be that the situation is that Sporting Lisbon want an amount that Manchester United don't want to pay, and I've, as I understand it, the feeling is an early yellow card here for Mike Dean. Mike Dean's not given a yellow card himself; he's given a yellow card to Norwood for Sheffield United, and I think as a first tackle on Lacazette's a diver. I don't care what anybody says. Lacazette is a diver. He dives all the bloody time. There's no way that's a yellow card. It's just a tackle. He doesn't even hardly get him. It's just the rolling around from Lacazette afterwards. He does it all the time. He's such a diver. I don't like him at all. Blue Shite TV says Sporting want 80 million and you won't be held to ransom. But the thing is, I don't know what team you support, but I don't give a shit what Manchester United pay for Bruno Fernandes. I just want us to sign Bruno Fernandes. I didn't really want to get dragged into the Bruno Fernandes scenario. I was like, I never expected us to sign Bruno Fernandes in January. I said I wouldn't believe it till I held the shirt up. And then I've had a week of it where clearly we're in for him and you start to believe it. And then they're going to pull us in and spit us out and not sign him. Is that the plan for Manchester United? Because I just don't know what I'll do if that happens, because I had no expectation that we were going to sign him in January. They're the ones who've suckered us in, and if they then walk away and say, well, we won't be held to ransom, I don't really give a damn about being held to ransom. I don't care if we pay £80 million for him. I want that player. I want that player for Manchester United. And don't come at... I mean, apparently Manchester United value Bruno Fernandes at £40 million. They paid £50 million for a young right-back from Crystal Palace. They paid £80 million for Harry Maguire. But you think Bruno Fernandes, who's scoring goals in every competition and getting assists in every competition, whether it's National, Portuguese League, Europa League, is only worth 40 million? I mean, what sort of clowns have we got working at Manchester United? Hence, Edward walks in, the best clowns in the industry. You know, it is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But we'll see what happens. Jude Bellingham has scored for Birmingham. He is a player that Manchester United have been linked to. Manchester United couldn't lick anything. They couldn't lick a stamp. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner, and share the video as well. I was going to do Spurs versus Watford at lunchtime, but I actually got held up doing some stuff. And actually, I think that's fate. Because I don't think I would have done the 3 o'clock kickoffs if I'd watched the... Watford Spurs game, which was 0-0 and boring, wasn't it? I only watched about 5 minutes, so yeah, I'm quite glad about that. Okay, so we are watching Arsenal Sheffield United. We're keeping an eye on that, but there are a lot of other games going on today, and I don't know. Let me just have a quick look at the scores and fixtures. I don't know what's going on in the Championship. We've obviously got Premier League. Championship, we've got Birmingham are 1-0 up against Cardiff. An early goal there for Bellingham. And also in the Championship, it's getting quite tight. I'm quite interested in this. But Derby, Wayne Rooney Derby at home to Hull. keep an eye on Solihull Moors because they're playing at 3 o'clock. They're my local team. Solihull Moors against Boreham Wood, 3 o'clock kickoff there. And yeah, just keep an eye on what you like, really. Across the continent, we got, what do we got in the continent? We've got nothing really kicking off. Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid are kicking off against Sevilla. That's 0-0 in that at the moment. Bundesliga, we got Dortmund are losing 1-0 to Augsburg. That kicked off at 2:30. Dortmund are losing 1-0. Have some of that, Haaland. Lazio are beating Sampdoria 3-0 at half time. And the French Coupe de France is ongoing at the moment as well. So lots and lots of football this Saturday afternoon for us to keep you in touch with. But at the moment, it's 0-0 in all the games. And it finished 0-0 in Watford versus Spurs, which I'm very glad that we avoided. Forest are playing Luton tomorrow for anyone who wants to crack any jokes. Forest Luton tomorrow at midday, and Liverpool against Manchester United is at 4:30, which I'll be doing a live stream watch along for that on the United stand. And there will be definitely no Bruno Fernandes involved in that one. So early doors in this game, quite an equal game thus far. I only ever use "thus far" on this channel. Come on, Snooker Loopy. Come on, Eileen. So, Sheffield United given as much as they're getting at the moment, which is always good. Jude Bellingham has scored for Birmingham. He is a player that has been linked to United. Who wants a draw in this game, says Joker. I think if Sheffield United win and United lose to Liverpool tomorrow, it could be quite problematic for Manchester United, yes. Who would you have? Do you enjoy doing this channel, Mark? Says Michael. I do. I tell you what, I've got to be absolutely honest with you. January is such a hard month. It's so tiring. So it's nice just to sit down and do a little bit of football. The fuck's that? Yeah, it's nice just to sit back and watch a bit of football and relax with you people in a more relaxed environment. Yes, it's been absolutely. I said this before. It's absolutely appalling, and I don't know what club you support, but the way Manchester United have run this deal is just absolutely amateur as per usual. And I think that with regards to where this deal ends up, I don't know, but I just feel that it's lost, as per usual with Manchester United. It's lost all of its excitement because United just do not know what they're doing when it comes to these sort of transfers. They're just out of their depth, and it does cause a lot of pain. But that's really good to hear. I enjoy your content very much, says Michael Dunn. Cool. Well, do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. We've got some good watch-alongs coming up this week, actually, because it's Arsenal are playing Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday night, so we'll do that one. And I think I might do Wolves-Liverpool on Thursday as well. What if they're looking at Bruno's social media following to gauge his market value, says D-Sveth. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I got the chain for Christmas. I do like it. I always do wear it. I'm not massively religious, but I always do wear a cross. And the wife got me a new one. A lot of people saying look at Sky. In what ways? That one? Hello, I'm looking at the sky. Can you tell me anything? I'm more of a Twitter person anyway, so if I'm not getting anything on Twitter, I ain't looking really. sky is blue, the sky is blue. We all know that the sky is blue. I really actually would like to just have a Bruno Fernandes free stream and just keep an eye on the 3 o'clock kickoffs, to be honest with you. There is nothing on Sky Sports, so well done. Well done, everybody there. I'm bored of it. Bazzy says, look up in the sky. Bruno is on a plane. Very equal game between Arsenal and Sheffield United at the moment, though. And, I mean, well, we're well into January now, aren't we? So it's not like Sheffield United coming in and getting a deal, getting a point would be surprising. Let's have a look here. Sky saying that there's a deadlock. Reached a deadlock with Sporting Lisbon over the transfer of Bruno Fernandes, and yeah, that's what they're saying. Bournemouth are in talks to sign Borussia Dortmund with Jacob Brun-Larsen. That is a really shit live blog. Sky Sports have got so much money. I'll tell you what, your website's shit, lads and ladies. It's really bad. I'd be embarrassed if that was my website, because I've got a good one, the United Stand. That is a shite website, I'm afraid. I've got to say, that's not very good. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, LFC news and views. I've got something even funnier for you. Ha ha ha! No one can see your comments anymore. What's going wrong with Bournemouth? Says Michael Dunn. I don't know. I always assumed that Bournemouth would do very, very good. And James Cooper doesn't have a Twitter account. Chris Lewis. (1-0 to Southampton), says Man United Fan TV. Some big games today. Southampton are against Wolves. I predicted Southampton would win that on my preview yesterday. In fact, I need to keep an eye on that. I think I said West Ham would beat Everton. Southampton would beat Wolves. Norwich and Bournemouth. I think I said Norwich. Man City, Palace, obviously. Brighton, Everton. I went Brighton. I went all home wins today, actually. I even thought Watford would beat Spurs as well. So yeah, that's pretty much what I said. That's what I said. Andrew Rossi says, the old saying is still true. Have to spend dollars to make dollars. Titles equal world-class players equals sponsorship deals equals more freaking money. This nickel and dime mentality is ridiculous. It doesn't... You're right, Andrew Rossi. Basically, I replied to somebody on Twitter about that today. Whether you're Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, Manchester United, if you want to be successful, you can't do it by running a business. You can't be run as a business where... You know, you've got shareholders to please and you're trying to, save money here and there. Look at Man City. That right back didn't work, we'll get you a new one. That goalkeeper didn't work, we'll get you a new one. It's trial and error till you get what you need to build. You can't go, you want that forward, we'll get you this one. You want that midfielder, we can't afford it. You're not going to be successful. You're not. You've got to build something, and to build that, you need the best ingredients. Or cook something as well. What has actually happened? Looked like the deal's off, says Devon. I don't think the deal for Bruno Fernandes is off. That's not where my frustration is. My frustration is that they've destroyed another deal. They've took the excitement out of it yet again because they have to let the world know what they're bloody doing because they're idiots. And they've taken too long on the deal as well. This is not the summer. It's there's games going on. He could have been playing today. He could have played tomorrow. So no, he couldn't have played today. He could have played tomorrow. He could have played against Burnley. Even the Burnley game doesn't look likely now. So that's what frustrates me. It's how long they take to do it. But if you look back at the Harry Maguire deal and the Aaron Wan-Bissaka deal, the BBC said the same thing on both that there was a big difference between the price and the value. So third time lucky, I think we will get the deal done again. And Alex Didlick says, do you have The Athletic? I refuse to pay subscriptions to media outlets other than Sky, because I get to watch football. So I think on Twitter every now and again, I think the Telegraph do it, don't they? They'll come up with a clickable thing that you want to read. You get the first paragraph and then you've got to subscribe to read the rest. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And The Athletic, I think, are the biggest ones of the lot, aren't they? This new thing, which I'm not going to do that. I don't think you should have to pay to get information. If people want to make super chats on YouTube, that's great. You click the $sign, we'll read your comment out. That's absolutely fine. It's voluntary, and I appreciate people who do support the channel in that way. But I'm not going to have a channel where I go, come and watch me talk about my opinion and this, that and the other, and you can pay me £5 a month. No, I don't like that. So I don't subscribe to The Athletic, and the reality is you don't need to anyway, because there's people who do, who just tweet it out. So clear penalty not been given to Palace, says Silver Spring. Well, if it's a clear penalty, surely VAR would give it. I think we're just living in this uncertain world of VAR where we don't know what a penalty is anymore, because you can actually be fouled in the box and they'll say there's not enough contact to go down. I don't get that rule. If there's contact, you go down. I would. 20 minutes gone in this game, though. Pretty much end to end. No news on Bellingham, Harris King, apart from he scored for Birmingham. It'd be a very good player for United to sign with a long-term future to it. Sheffield United player down injured at the moment. They've had to put it out. It wasn't a penalty, says Sisman, to be fair. Are you interested in the US Democratic primaries, says the JFO show? No, I think if you're living in America and you like American things, you're going to be very interested in it, aren't you? And I don't blame you for that. But we've just been through an election just before Christmas. I'm just taking a bit of time out politically. I'm just not engaged in it. I spent nearly every night watching Newsnight for 4 months. I just need a break from all that. Where are the fan cabs done at Old Trafford, says Adam Ali? Normally just outside Hotel Football. Michael Dunn says the Sheffield United player got hit in the groin. Oof, it's going to water your eyes worse than a raw onion. People, outlets are not saying it's not happening. It's just being dragged out because we have idiotic negotiators who are trying to save money to make more profit for the club, says Chris Lewis. High five, Chris Lewis. Absolutely fantastically spot on. I do think it'll happen. I just think it's being dragged out ridiculously. And JFO shows I'm not American, I'm just interested. That's fine. Any update on Koulibaly coming to United or the Premier League, says Billy Callan? I think he'll end up going to Napoli. I don't agree with the Manchester United rumour at all. I just don't think it makes any sense. The update on Bruno Fernandes at the moment is that the deal has stalled because of differences over the fee. And as I said on the United Stand update at lunchtime, the frustrating thing is all these outlets who are media outlets, they're not fan opinion, it's media outlets. If a fan channel says, I think this deal's going to happen, and that's fine, that's an opinion, and I think everyone understands that. When media outlets are saying that, the club, Sporting, are happy with the deal and it's Bruno Fernandes' last game, and then you watch it and the manager comes out and says no deal's been agreed yet with the player, we hope to have him for more games, you go, hold on a minute, we've been absolutely mugged off there. And I do think it's just people, really good run by Pepe here, that will have excited people, and I do think it's just trying to be first. I think people, we saw it in the summer, people just want to be the first, they want to go, look at me, I was first on that deal. And it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't really matter what club you support. You see that a lot. People just want to be first. Oh, look at me, I said it was done first, I've got a source. And from somebody who works in the football industry and knows a lot of people, I know a lot of journalists as well now that I've sort of spoken to through doing this, there is nobody who knows absolutely every bit of news. You just have a good run. Like Sky last summer were very accurate. 3 years ago, DiMarzio was really accurate about Manchester United. And the reason DiMarzio was accurate because of Manchester United was because of Mino Raiola. Most of those deals that we did, Zlatan, Mkhitaryan and Pogba were Mino Raiola clients, and Di Marzio had a relationship with Mino Raiola, so that's how we knew. Last year with Sky, I don't know how they were getting their news, but nobody ever stays that hot for long. Like Simon Stone with the BBC and David Ornstein in relation to Arsenal, they get their information and they're accurate because they get the information from the club, and they're not normally the first. You'll never see Simon Stone saying Manchester United are after Jude Bellingham, or you won't see David Ornstein saying Arsenal are after Grimaldi, because they're not looking to be first, they're looking to be accurate. So you've got people who get stuff from the club, and then you've got people who are speculating and getting it from other people like agents. Hey Mark, I know it's big news for us at United. Could have spent 1.5 hours without hearing about Bruno, says Glory Boy 622. Oh well, you can always go and watch something else. Wolves bench makes me sad, says Scott. I think Wolves are in a bit of problems, aren't they? I think they look tired. He hasn't got a big enough squad, Nuno. He's not got a big enough squad, and I think that's why Wolves are starting to struggle a little bit. But to be honest with you, Southampton are a team on the rise at the moment, and they've been on a really good run. And I think Southampton were in a false position, to be honest with you, because if they were to beat Wolves today, they'd only be 3 points behind Wolves. They'd got to 29 points, and Wolves would be on 32. There's an opportunity here today for Arsenal, if they win, to actually level up with Spurs on points. They wouldn't go past them for goal difference, but they'd be on the same amount of points, and they'd only be 3 behind United. So, and I don't think United are going to win tomorrow against Liverpool. So, Arsenal could be back in the race to not for fourth. I don't think Arsenal can finish fourth, but they could be back in the race to finish above their big rivals, Spurs and United. What I would say is, for anybody who's talking about transfers this January transfer window, why have Chelsea not bought anybody? Why have Arsenal not bought any? Why have Spurs not bought anybody? I think if I was a fan of those clubs, I would say the same thing. I would say what I'm saying about United. Like, it's still a transfer window. You know, you've got to use it. I'm surprised that there's not been any activity. I think Chelsea will do something, but I think if United don't get Bruno Fernandes, there won't be anybody else coming in. I don't think there's time for them to go and do anything else. What we understand is that their first choice is Bruno Fernandes. And Grantic Branwell says that Mourinho is done. Well, I said that about Mourinho when he went to Spurs. I think he's done at the highest level, and a lot of people don't want to hear that. And to be honest with you, I sort of felt like, thanks for the contribution, Lachlan Oberg. You can do it through the super chat if you want me. If you do a super chat, we will read them out for you. But I sort of wanted Mourinho to do well at Spurs because I think Mourinho, now he's not United manager, he is box office, and I can listen to Mourinho on a press conference even though he's not supporting my club. I like to listen to him, but tactically he's just not all that. I mean, you can't say, oh, I couldn't do it with United, oh, I couldn't do it with Spurs. Like, they've got, Pochettino was doing a better job than what Mourinho was doing, and Pochettino deserved the sack. So yeah, they haven't bought Gedson Fernandes, by the way. They've got him on loan, and I don't think he's a very good deal. I think if United had bought him, I would have gone, well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's not setting the world on fire, is he? Chelsea's ban has been listening. Have we got any Arsenal fans in there? Arsenic Gunners in here? There are Arsenal fans in here. Zane's an Arsenal fan. 0-0 at the moment. I'd say very, very equal game. Yeah, the Gedson Fernandes loan to Spurs is for 18 months. Everton and West Ham were in for him. They were in for him, but no, it's still, as it were, somebody just said Spurs have still bought more than United. You need to understand what a loan is, Spec. It's not a signing. So coming up for half an hour gone in this game, still 0-0. A lot of games. Dan Mack says he's a Liverpool fan and he'd take a draw. I wouldn't be so so down, I think you've got a good chance. I mean, you've got to be favourites. Got to be favourites. But Arteta and Arsenal, I think he needs to win today. He's got to start showing some progression. I think as a new manager, there's got to be a bounce. And I think, if you look at Lampard at Chelsea in the first few months, did very, very well. If you look at Brendan Rodgers' first few months and he's continued it, done very, very well. If you look at Solskjaer, first 3 months, unbelievable. I think when you're a new manager, I know patience is going to be part of the project for Arsenal, but it was part of the project for Chelsea. It was part of the project for Manchester United, but they still got those early good results. So I think that he's got to do that. I think that he's got to get some, he's got to start winning some games to build that momentum as well. So this is a game that Arsenal have got to win. Sheffield United on the attack here. To the box. That's over behind the line. Henry E says there's not been a bounce with Arteta. There's been more of a bounce than there was under Emery and what's his name, the pants model, Ljungberg. He's done okay. I mean, he beat United. They'll live off that for a couple of years. But yeah, I don't. Look, I can speak openly about Arsenal as much as I can speak about anybody else, and I do feel that with Arsenal, they need to spend. They're like United; they need to spend a lot of money on their squad. And I think, in all fairness to Ljungberg and Arteta, you change your manager, but you don't get a bounce. Really, that tells you that the problem is the playing staff. Because what normally happens is you sack a manager, and the players straight away the light switch goes on, and they go, "Ooh, we've got to prove to the world that we weren't the problem, it was the manager." And Arsenal haven't done that. Emery gets sacked, they go and lose to Brighton and draw with Norwich. Ljungberg goes, and there's not even a massive amount of improvement there either. I think Arsenal's problem is the playing staff, and they're going to have to improve that playing staff. And I don't think long-term Arteta's the solution either, to be honest. Ozil is the solution. So the problem with Arsenal is how much money have they got? I mean, it really surprised me because of what Robbie and people were saying. We ain't got no money. Well, and then they signed Pepe. And that turned into a meme. But I was told that by Arsenal fans. We ain't got no money. So I was like, they'll never afford Pepe. And then they did buy Pepe. But did they buy Pepe because of money? Or did they buy him on Amazon Prime vouchers? I don't know. Have they got much more? Come on, Martinelli. Show Rashford how to play. Says Zane. Hey, come on. Zane, wash your mouth out. There's no comparison between Rashford and Martinelli. I don't know what Arsenal fans think about how good Martinelli might become, by the way. But he's... I do like Martinelli. He looks quite good. But I think he's going to be more of a... He reminds me more of a sort of Raul or a as a striker. I think he's more of a striker, whereas I think Rashford obviously plays off the wing, more of a flair player. But Rashford's more exciting than Martinelli with the ball at his feet. Martinelli, I think, look, it reminds me a bit of Chicharito Hernandez as well. He might go on to be better than him. He might not, but I think he's that sort of a player. He's a finisher, that's for sure. But there's been a red card in the Bournemouth game, says Dumbo the Tiger. We'll keep an eye on that one. Ewan Vickers says AFTV don't go in on the players enough, and I'm a fan of them. You know what, Ewan? I know a lot of the AFTV boys, and I've said it to them as well. You need to go in on the players, because you go in on the managers and you go on the board, but you don't go in on the players. And to me, your biggest problem is your players. But I know why they don't go in on the players, because a lot of the players, they know the players, and a lot of the players watch AFTV, and it's a good relationship. And some of them even follow and have social media interactions with them, not on the public social media, but on DMs and things like that. And I've seen it. So if I've got Luke Shaw DMing me on Twitter, am I going to go and say he's a useless crap waste of space? No, I'm not. So I think that's dangerous, really, for fan channels, because if you have relationships with players, you're going to be blinkered. And I said this to DT when I met him just before Christmas. I said, you know what? Your problem is your players. It's the players who need the pressure, not your manager. Martinelli is the future Ronaldo, says Zane Miassi. What? The fat one now. I think Solskjaer will get rid more of the deadwood. Fellaini, Sanchez, Young, Smalling, Darmian, Valencia. How do you think is next? Mark says Kjeld Helsund. Oh, this is such a myth. This is such a myth. Like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Ashley Young to stay. I saw somebody say this yesterday. I'm glad you've reminded me about this. I saw somebody say this yesterday. Ollie's doing a great job getting rid of the deadwood, but he wanted Ashley Young to stay. That's not getting rid of the deadwood. Like, that's Ashley Young saying, see you later, I'm getting out of this sinking ship. So, yeah, some of the deadwood's gone. He got rid of Fellaini, got rid of Sanchez, Smalling, Darmian and Valencia. I'll give him that, but he didn't get rid of Ashley Young willingly. That I will not agree with. Torreira's just had the ball smacked in his face, so he's gone down. It hurts. B-Man95 says, hey Mark, Chelsea fan here, would love us to sign Werner. We also need a centre-back. Ake would have been decent, especially for 40 million. What's your thoughts? I think Nathan Ake does need to get out of Bournemouth and go up a level, and I think that Chelsea might be a decent place for him to go, especially considering he used to play there. Norwich are beating Bournemouth 1-0. Pookie is back, so he's back sooner than I thought he was going to be. Bournemouth must be absolute shite to be losing to Norwich. That's all. In fact, I think that's a tweet. I think that's got to be a tweet, hasn't it? Because they are, without question, the worst team I've seen in the Premier League this season. They're awful. Why is my zero not working? Bournemouth. So Torreira's just getting up now. Just about to carry on with the game. There'll be a bit of added on time now. Pookie, the Poundland Harry Kane scoring. There is a story from Sky Sports, by the way. They're saying that Manchester United have reached a deadlock with Sporting Lisbon over Bruno Fernandes after his valuation almost doubled in the space of 48 hours. But 3 hours ago, they said that a deal is quite close. I think Sky Sports have absolutely lost credibility now. They will lose a lot of credibility. Southampton are 2-0 up against Wolves. Wolves are in big trouble. Southampton moving into the safety spots now and looking very safe. And Bournemouth are down to 10 men as well. So looking like a 3-pointer for Norwich, that one, which they'll be very pleased with. Still 0-0 in Arsenal versus Sheffield United. I think I predicted it'd be 2-0, but if Norwich found a win here, they'd only be 3 points behind Bournemouth. It's a proper 6-pointer this today between Bournemouth, who are second from bottom, and Norwich, who are bottom. There are 6 points between them at this moment in time. Actually, no, I think there was 9 points between them. So this would change it to 6 points. Yeah, because that's as it stands. So yeah, it's still 6 points. Interesting. Imagine what Hassan Hultel could do with a United coaching matters, says Red Xavi. I think he's a good coach, the Southampton coach. Well, considering you don't criticise Shaw, you must have him on your DMs, says Porritt. I don't have any United players on the DMs. I don't. I think it's dangerous to do that. I wouldn't want any United players on my DMs, to be honest with you, because then you become what you're not meant to be, don't you? You know, you're meant to be. I think your opinion should not be clouded by friendships or relationships. You know, you're judging. This is what I mean. It's whatever club you support, you've got a right to be critical of somebody who wears your club shirt. It's an entertainment business, and whether if Lacazette's shit, he's shit, isn't he? You know, it's as simple as that. And entertainment business. These are people wearing your club shirt. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. It's nothing to do with what they're like as a person, and I don't want to have my opinion of them clouded because I think they're a nice. Look, Juan Mata's a very nice person, But I still think he's been crap for United for 18 months, apart from the last week. Matto Darlow says, Mark, is the Bruno ship still afloat? I don't know. I just don't know. You can't trust Manchester United Football Club. That's the bottom line, isn't it? I think they're briefing, to be honest with you. I don't believe that Sporting Lisbon have doubled their price. I do not believe that at all. I think they're briefing the media so they can walk away and say, oh, look, this is what really happened. Crystal Palace are winning 1-0 against Manchester City, by the way. Tosun scoring. I don't know whether that's his debut, but Crystal Palace normally do cause problems to Man City for some reason, and they are losing 1-0. This is a bit of a boring game, Sider, to be honest with you. I'm focusing more on the comments than I am on Sheffield United versus Arsenal. But it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace in the Man City. And Man City at home. And remember, Palace did win there last season. Was it 4-2 or something? Am I going to do FUD for FIFA again? Says Hudson Matthews. Thank you for the contribution, Hudson. Yeah, I am going to do FIFA again. I've just sort of said that I've got to do Football Manager episode 2 as well. I just think January is just not the time to commit to that sort of a thing, because January is just so busy with games and transfers and stuff like that. So it's a tough month. But February, first couple of weeks, I think United play Wolves on February the 1st, and then the next game is something like the 17th of February, so that's 2 weeks without a United game. So yeah, because they're splitting this sort of winter break thing, aren't they? So there will be Premier League football each weekend, but they're splitting it so everyone gets 2 weeks. So be good. It will be good. I'm looking forward to the break. Sky and BBC are on the same page now. Yes, that was from Konstantin Kvetanov. And Mark, I don't understand why we will spend 25 million on Bellingham but not add 25 million to the Bruno deal. I'd rather take Bruno, says Timmy H. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I do. I agree. Why do you look so sad, says Nocky Jr. I don't know why I look so sad today. I don't think I am my normal self, have I? So a few people have said that in the live comments. I don't know. I think I'm very irritated with what's happening with the Bruno Fernandes deal, and I shouldn't be, because it's just normal with Manchester United. But I was talking to somebody yesterday, actually, and they were saying I used to get so excited about United transfers, but now I just don't really give a shit, because we're a badly run club and there's just no reason to get excited about it anymore, because I just don't trust them. We've got a couple of goals to update you about as well in the Premier League. Let me just tell you that Southampton are winning 2-0, which I'd already told you about. Brighton are beating Villa 1-0. That's a goal by Mape. And West Ham are beating Everton with a goal from Issa Diop. He heads home a Robert Snodgrass free kick. So every game at the moment is going the way I predicted it, apart from Man City and Arsenal. So Brighton home win at the moment. Norwich a home win at the moment. Southampton a home win. And West Ham a home win. But Man City are losing to Crystal Palace. And Arsenal are drawing here. And what is it about Man City? I don't know. But Tosun scores. And it was a rare foray forward for Crystal Palace. And Martin Kelly cross and Tosun finishes. So domination from from Man City, but not on the score sheet. What do you think will happen with Sanchez after his loan, says Mandotti? It will probably end up with him coming back and Solskjaer will go, it's like a new signing, and he'll be still absolutely awful. Everton have equalised. Everton have equalised. That has not lasted long. What's your England lineup for the Euros, says Adam Jackson. I'm actually looking forward to the Euros. We'll be doing a lot of watch-alongs on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, I don't know about England. I mean, there's a lot of injury concerns, isn't there? Harry Kane probably won't be there. There's some weird rumour that Marcus Rashford's got a bad injury as well. So this is the problem. I don't get too set on what England's lineup should be for the Euros because there's so much club football to be played yet. So there could be a few. I think England need to sort their midfield out. Most games are won and lost in the midfield, aren't they? So that's what they need to look on. I don't like VAR because you can't celebrate properly after a goal. You're always worried because it could be disallowed and they aren't consistent, says Eric. Eric. Schön. Arsenal coming forward here at the moment. And it's been a very equal game. I did predict Arsenal would win this one. But Saka coming forward. Good little run by him. Sheffield United get rid of it there. I think there's been an Arsenal goal, by the way, but you know, this is typical. This is what happens. Dortmund are winning 3-0 now, 3-1 now against Augsburg. Haaland coming on soon. He scored one of the 3 goals. Mark my words, but the point is we need players with character and balls now, says Krautz. I'm just waiting to see if this Arsenal goal, that just shows you how far behind this is that I'm watching. God, this bloody miles behind. The goal went in ages ago. I'm like 2 hours behind Dr. Dread. Yeah, I know, yeah. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It'll be 2-0 by the time it goes in. Hey, it's a good goal by Arsenal, though. Well-worked goal. Martinelli putting it in. And I think it was Ozil who started it off. Gets the ball wide. I think it's Saka with the cross in the end. But he can't miss. There's nothing brilliant about the finish. It's all about the build-up from Arsenal. And it's a well-worked goal by Arsenal, to be fair. Well-worked goal. And I think it was Saka who put the cross in. Let me just see. Yeah, it's a good goal. I've got to say, it's a good goal by Arsenal. Sorry, Dortmund are losing. Dortmund are losing. They're not winning. They're losing the party. I'll change score in a minute. Look at that. So let me change the score for you. So everybody apart from City are doing the score lines that I thought they would. Basically all home wins. And I'm sure City will come from behind in the second half, to be honest. I am in a shit mood today. I've got to be honest with you. I'm in a really crap mood. I think a lot of it's to do with Manchester United. I've got to be honest. Hi Mark, do you think Man United will be a new Liverpool not winning the title in 30 years? Says Emil Taki. Oh, nothing like kicking me when I'm not feeling great, but there is a chance, to be honest with you. I just can't emphasise how badly run Manchester United are as a football club. They're not good, and I don't think they're going to get any better anytime soon, if I'm honest. I don't. I think that they're just so far off where they need to be, and I don't see there being a massive improvement anytime soon. I just don't. And I've said it before. I think I've said it on this channel. I think 6 years is realistic in relation to how long it could be before they get back. So, yeah, I just don't think it's going to be very soon that Manchester United are back on top. But we'll see. And I think it's about half time for our Arsenal game now. So let me just stop the clock. There we go. Haaland has just scored. Apparently we've had a tweet update as well. I'm just going to check as well in relation to Bruno Fernandes. So let me just have a quick look. Sky. And then I'm going to go through all the games at half time and give you an update on them. Right, who was the person who told me that? It's such a shame because I've seen you on the United stand before, but he hasn't tweeted, so you're gone off the channel, I'm afraid. Don't be emailing me saying, please let me back. I don't find it funny. You're gone. That's what I find funny. Wasting my time when I could be interacting with the live comments. If there's one thing you could change about Manchester United, what would it be? Says Donald Anderson. It would be the owners. And Mark, if Bruno doesn't come, it will be the biggest pie in history, says Jeremiah. I think United fans are pretty much expecting the pie, if I'm honest with you. This is just the way this club is run. It's an embarrassment. You don't even take the L anymore. And we're not even a banter club anymore because it's just expected amongst the fan base that we will be an embarrassment. So even if we get this deal over the line, it's still been an embarrassing event, hasn't it? It's still been played out in public. We're getting him, we're not getting him. They want this money, they want that money. It's bloody embarrassing. So West Ham are 1-1. It was a goal for Calvert-Lewin, and it was a corner that was flicked on, and Calvert-Lewin is on hand to head it in at the back post. So 1-1 in that game. West Ham 1, Everton 1. Southampton are 2-0 up at Wolves, looking very comfortable there. Norwich are beating Bournemouth 1-0. Manchester City are 1-0 up against Crystal Palace away from home. That would be a real shock. Brighton are beating Villa, and Arsenal, as we know, are 1-0 up against Sheffield United. A little bit of a look around the other grounds. We can tell you that the Scottish Cup fourth round I've got no interest in. Derby are 0-0 with Hull, and Blackburn are beating Sheffield Wednesday 3-0, and Blackburn are the away side. QPR beat Leeds 1-0 at in the earlier kickoff. Of interest to me, Solihull Moors are losing to Boreham Wood, knobheads. And of course, we were looking at some of the European games. Real Madrid are 0-0 at half-time with Sevilla, and Dortmund are 3-3 with 25 minutes to go, having been 3-1 down against FC Augsburg. So that is interesting. Lazio have beaten Sampdoria 5-1, if you're any interest in the Italian league. But that's how we are at half-time, everybody. And Arsenal are leading 1-0 against Sheffield United. And that would be a significant result for the old Arsenal, because it would put them up level with Tottenham Hotspur on 31 points and Wolves on 31 points. Arsenal would still be in 10th, but you would have a situation where 10th and 5th are separated by 3 points. So, interesting times indeed. In fact, Southampton would be on 31 points as well. So 11th and 5th would be separated by 3 points. So you could see a scenario where, you know, United could lose 2 of the next 3 and drop down to mid-table again. It's going to be that tight, but hopefully not. I think it's going to be very hard for Manchester United to get anything tomorrow, though. I don't know what you lot think, but I think they're going to find it very hard indeed. Right, we've had a couple of super chats coming in. Jordan Such is in the house. Hello, Jordan. He says, Mark, I see Simon Stone tweeted earlier, not surprised by it one bit. I knew this was going to happen. We are relying on Sporting to reduce the price. It's embarrassing how we are run. Given what happened against City in the Cup, it's a joke. Zane is happy. He's got his goal emoji out. He loves Martinelli as well. He had been given the big on, and he has been proved right. And Veracho Chio says, I can see improvements with Arteta already. Far more organised. Going to take him time, but one game at a time. Good luck with Bruno, mate. I thought the goal from Arsenal was really good. Really well worked. And lovely cross for Isaka. And, you know, Martinelli couldn't miss, to be fair. And Lewis Down says, Cave tweeted and deleted. United not willing to pay 68 million. Sporting within their rights to ask for 68 million for Bruno. United within their rights to not pay fortune to agents who have muscled it on the deal. And no, I don't think I disagree with you on that, Louis. I don't think Manchester United are within their rights to walk away from a deal like this. And no, I absolutely disagree. I think Manchester United cannot afford to walk away from a deal like this, and maybe that is why Sporting Lisbon have ramped the price up. But it's a buyer's market. It's not a buyer's market. It's a seller's market. It's January. It's a seller's market in January, and if you enter into the seller's market in January, don't expect to get a bargain. So if you publicly declare your interest in a player, which is what Manchester United have done, and then you miss out, it's embarrassing. So no, I think they have to get the deal over. Martinelli is a star in the making, says Zane. I do think he looks like being a good goal scorer. I think he looks like being a good goal scorer. Sancho and Haaland have scored, says Sorrow Heels turn. And watchers get Longstaff, says Carmichael. And since the start of last season, no player has scored more goals in English League football than Timo Pukki, says Mikael Gaval, if anyone's interested in that. And there was the part... Why get Bruno when you've got Lingard, says MS. And did you really think that Manchester United would get... I think I have got no time for Tom or anybody else in these scenarios where they go, oh, ha, did you really think Manchester United were going to sign Bruno Fernandes? And the reality is, if you've been following the story, then the reality is no United fan thought we were going to sign Bruno Fernandes. And we were all saying, I'll believe it when he holds the shirt up a week ago. But then when credible people like Simon Stone and James Cooper come out and say that United are after him, is their number one target, then we are going to start to believe it, aren't we? But the problem is Manchester United play out every transfer in the public, and that gets their fans interested, and they're going to have to take the L on this. I mean, Neil Custis from The Sun, I know he writes for The Sun, but I do actually listen to a lot of what he says about Manchester United, because I know that he has got sources in there. He says that the Fernandes deal is now in danger of collapse, with Sporting holding out for 80 million euros. United told them 50 million plus 10 million add-ons or forget it. So if United are going to walk away from it, United are going to walk away from it, which, yeah. Haaland score after 2 minutes on the course. Sancho with a perfect sticking it into Haaland, says Dag Hosmund. And Who says, Mark, maybe you got rose-tinted glasses. If this was Mandzukic and inflated agent fees, you would say no. No one wants their club taken advantage of, no matter who the player is, the club comes first. I think that's bollocks. I think that's absolute bollocks. It's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But you can't say no matter what, the club comes first. No one wants their club to be taken advantage of. But your club, my club, takes advantage of us. They take our money and give it to people who don't even support our club. So your opinion is you don't want your club to be taken advantage of. My opinion is 80 million euros, so bloody what? 80 million euros is 70 million pounds. I don't think that's unreasonable for a player that we're desperate for. I don't agree with this. Let's walk away from it. I mean, are we in that luxurious position? I mean, if we walk away from the Bruno Fernandes deal because we don't want to pay 70 million pounds, how does that benefit my club? How does that benefit my football team? If you're an Arsenal fan, if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a Liverpool fan, whatever, and you're desperate for that player because you need that player, are you going to be happy if your club goes, no, we're not buying him because we're not going to pay 80 million euros. We're the winner. We know you're the loser. You need that player. It's a seller's market in January. You either pay the price or you don't. And I don't think we're being held to ransom. I mean, 80 million is what we paid for Harry Maguire. So we don't want to pay 80 million euros for Bruno Fernandes, which is 70 million pounds. I don't agree. I'm sorry. I just do not agree with this whole fist pumping. We won't be held to ransom. You'll be sat there with a shit midfield for the rest of the season. So no, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. It would be catastrophic if United pull out a Bruno deal. Money buys quality. Exactly what you need, to be honest, says Veraccio Chio. Look, you're going to get different opinions, and Humi has made many good comments on this channel and the United Stand, and I do respect the opinion. I just firmly disagree with it. I just totally disagree with it, because when these people who are not United fans and are shareholders and are lining their own pockets say we won't be held to ransom, they're not talking about we collective fans. They're talking about shareholders. Our money will not be spent on something we don't want it to spend too much on, because we've got to pay our shareholders. It doesn't benefit the Manchester United fan base at all. And as I said on the United Stand video about this, I don't really care if we pay 120 million. I'm not bothered. Get the player. We're not signing anyone else in January anyway. I don't care. Nothing would make me happier than United have to overpay on 4 or 5 players and the Glazers lose money. That sounds pretty enticing to me. They won't do it though. Louis Dawn says, in my opinion, the willingness to look at alternatives is a good sign. Media were briefed the exact same thing before we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Deal done by Friday. And I think that probably is what's happening, to be honest with you. I do think we'll still get him. Dortmund have managed to do a comeback. Haaland has scored again. Well, he snubbed Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to go to Dortmund, didn't he? Romeo KGT says overplay on all players. I know it matters to some of you, and I think the world has changed, but I don't really care about 80 million for Harry Maguire we overpaid. Wan-Bissaka 50 million we overpaid. They're not really worth that. I understand why they're worth it, because they're English, but they're not really worth that. I mean, they're good players, but they're not worth that. Lukaku 70 million overpaid. So what are we going to do? We're going to start making a stand now when we're at our most desperate. I mean, we have overpaid in the past, and it's not great to overpay, but actually as a fan, I don't care about overpaying. So I'm meant to sit here and go, well, we overpaid on Lukaku, let's not overpay on Bruno. But we need him. Lukaku's history. So as I tweeted this earlier, you can't start saying we're not going to overpay on players anymore, we're going to make a stand at your most desperate. History is not littered with great success stories of people who are desperate saying, I'm not going to pay for that. I'm not going to overpay. When you're in trouble, you've got to fight your way out. You don't do that by not spending money because you don't want to overpay. That's nothing to do with the football side of things anyway. That is totally back again with saving money because you're a business, not a football club. That's what that is, without a shadow of a doubt. We are a business, we are not a football club. And I think we all know that. And have been for a long time. Kjell Telsland says 2 goals for Haaland. What did I say? We lost a star there. We desperately need players that could change game status. 1-3, 1-3 behind before Haaland, and now they're winning 4-3. Well, the Haaland thing was just a big fat L. Maddison is better than Bruno, says Highbury. I disagree. You're welcome to your opinion. I disagree. I've been talking about this for a long time. The reasons why. I don't agree with you on that one. But, everyone's got a right to an opinion. That's the way it works. Shut up. I'm not talking to you lot. Hi, pal. Hi, Zed Jamie. Hope you're doing well. Humi says, you and I both know deep down we will get him. It's just negotiation now. Yes, it's dragging. We just disagree over how we do it. I also think Samari will be coming as well. that is the defensive midfielder we need. I mean, interesting thing about Samari, because he could end up at Arsenal, he could end up at Chelsea. The interesting thing about Samari is people say he's a DM, and he is, but defensively he's not actually that good. But he's so young, I think he will develop into being a good player. And I think whoever does get hold of him will have a decent player on their hands. But it's going to be interesting because, again, you've got conflicting stories there. Sky Sports, again, saying, oh, it's very, very close. And then but get French Football News saying that it's not actually going to happen. It's going to happen. It won't happen till the summer. So, we live in that sort of scenario, don't we, at the moment, where we don't really know what's going on. I'll tell you what. This is irritating me. I can't get the bloody thing back up now. You are taking the absolute piss here. Oh. Nick P says, everyone follow the United Stand News on Twitter at News United Stand if you want proper news. Oh, thanks for that, mate. I didn't even know we had a new Twitter account. And if Bruno was English, Ed would 100% play the 80 million, says Reza. Exactly. I think you're absolutely spot on there. Right. I don't even know what to do now. Choices are limited. Let's do that there. I'm not doing a World 11, Lee. I have seen the message. I'm not doing a World 11. Right. I'm physically and mentally drained. I think that's what's happened to me today. Come on, you Gunners. There's Tyrone Brown, and it's 68 million sterling, by the way. Sporting Lisbon wants 80 million euros. That transpires to be about 68 million pounds in English money. Jordan Such, Mark, if we don't spend the money on Bruno, why would we spend the money on someone like Maddison? Wouldn't he cost more? Hope you're having a good weekend, says Jordan Such. Yeah, but they'll happily do that because he's English, won't they? That's the way sort of United work these things. They think that if you're English, it makes it worth spending the money, and maybe that's a lot to do with sort of resale value, which it is, to be honest. But oh, come on. Right, I need to get the timer back up and running here. Haaland has got 2 goals, yeah. Right, let me get this timer back up and running. We are away in all the second halves now. There we go. Watch us get Barris tomorrow. He's here on Monday, says Brendan, £2. I've been saying that for a long time, and I'll say it again in here. I think United will get smacked up by Liverpool tomorrow, and then we'll announce Bruno Fernandes on Monday, and it's all about building. It's all about building momentum, isn't it? I think that's what it is. I just don't think, as James Cooper from Sky said yesterday, United have got all their eggs in one basket with this signing. So I do think that they've got to make it happen. Somebody to love. Can anybody find me somebody to love? So, can Man City find their way back into this game? Of course, that's going to be interesting in the second half. City are still losing. JT Music, you're right. I'm not doing a watch-along for the UFC, Anush. I've never done a watch-along for that. I won't even watch it. And Haaland moved in the same window as United negotiating Bruno, and Haaland is already scoring goals for Dortmund, says Gaz. Do you think Man City... I'm going to put a question to you lot. Do you think Arsenal will win this game, one? And do you think Man City will find a way back and win? So just say yes, yes if you think both. Yes, no. If not, or no, no. Mark, 1 year ago, Bruno was worth 55p a share on Football Index. Today he's £4.66 per share. Hope you was on, says Humi. I think I am. I think I have. I did have about 99 shares of him, but I think I tried to sell most of them, and that's obviously backfired. I should have just kept hold of them. Haaland's got a hat-trick, apparently. I've got a tweet about that. Saka's down injured for Spurs at the moment. Haaland hat-trick for Dortmund. Another screw up. It's embarrassing. I mean, look, Manchester United wanted to sign Haaland, and he wanted to go to Dortmund. That's the basic truth. I heard Tyson Fury is a United supporter. Do you think he should give a pep talk to your players to energise them, says Zane? I don't really believe in all that crap, to be honest with you. I don't think you can get celebrity people in who come in and give a bloody pep talk. I don't believe in that. Anyone saying that United should have got Haaland, we wanted to get Haaland. He was the sort of number one target for United in the January transfer window, and we blew the deal. We blew the deal. So that's what happened there. There's nothing more we could say about that. 3 shots, 3 goals, apparently, says J.I. Paul McLean says, who do you prefer Messi or Ronaldo? I'm more of a Ronaldo. I think they're both amazing, but I'm more of a Ronaldo person, to be honest with you. It's going to happen 100%. United PR team are clever, says Brendan. I do think it will still happen as well. I do think it will happen. Did last night really happen? There were Swedish women playing hockey and grown men chopping logs. Feels like a bad dream now. Very deflated, says Nick's P. Yeah, for all of us who were watching Sporting against Benfica last night on Free Sports TV, before it, they had women's ice hockey on, which I didn't even realise was women's ice hockey. I just thought it was ice hockey. I didn't know it was women's ice hockey. And then some guys climbing up a tree chopping wood. It was very surreal. And then he didn't end up bloody leaving anyway. So... that's just the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? There is no need to be ruthless when there are no one else in for Bruno. But then again, you are asking Ed Pinchworthy to save a few pretty millions. Of course he will, says Leslie Lai. Haggling on Fernandes, then letting Chong Gomez potentially walk out of the club on a free is bizarre. For a business, they know nothing about business, says Nick Harrington. Yeah, I agree with that. There's so many contradictions. And Sheffield United nearly scored there. Cross coming in, and Leno gets on the end of it. Oh, I'll tell you what. I just want to get to February and have a couple of weeks off United. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? January the 31st. Play Wolves on the 1st, and then they're not playing for a couple of weeks, and then I'm just going to go and hibernate for 2 weeks, because Christmas is a heavy time and it's a nice time, and then you come straight into the January transfer window. I think unlike a lot of clubs, I remember last January we were playing 1 game a week, but as a United fan, because we're in the Carabao Cup, that's 2 midweek games in January for the 2 legs. We also had the replay against Wolves, which was another midweek game, and then there's a midweek game in the Premier League. But if you're Arsenal,
You've only been playing one game a week, haven't you? PGG says, what's more important, being tactically astute or motivating a player to play way beyond their ability? Interesting point. And you could apply that to sexual encounters, managing somebody at McDonald's. What's more important? Being tactically astute or motivating. I suppose ability or motivation. What's more important would be a different way of putting it. And I think that, if you've got somebody who's got great ability but doesn't use it, like a Ravel Morrison for Sheffield United, or somebody who's not as good as that but is highly motivated, maybe like a Norwood for Sheffield United. I probably could think of a better example, but I think the sweet spot is the Ronaldo, who is obviously a very, very good player, but also has the motivation as well. Life is full of people who are talented but lazy and don't use their talent, and life is also full of people like Jordan Henderson or Gary Neville, who, talent-wise, probably not a raw talent in any means, but they've worked ridiculously hard to get where they are. So I think the short answer is there is no answer, because the sweet spot is to have talent and hard work, and then you've got what you want. But if that talent isn't going to work hard, then of course you want the motivated player, because you'll get more out of them. And Leslie again has made a very good point about Arsenal and how well drilled they are under Arteta. There's a real big difference in how hard they work back. What a debut, Haaland with a hat-trick as a sub, says Stego. Yep. And he's got 4 goals on his debut, apparently. Just another massive L for Manchester United, really. Sheffield United look like they're getting closer to a goal in this game, though. I don't know how far behind I am, but they seem to be getting closer and closer. And they were shouting for sort of a handball on a cross there, but they have done better in this half. Hence, Arsenal will go and score soon. I will be live on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight. It won't be a massively long show. It's been a very long week and we've got a big day tomorrow, but I'll have a beer with you and a chat, definitely. JW says, have you got any Bruno news? I think what is circulating today is that United are basically briefing the media that they will walk away from the deal because Sporting want too much money. I think we'll still sign him. I think that is... It happened with Maguire, it happened with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I think third time... Hopefully it's not third time unlucky, but I do think we're going to sign him. Haaland only scored 3, by the way. It wasn't 4, but he only scored 3. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way, bottom right hand corner. We've got more of these watch alongs to come and a lot more content on this channel. It wasn't a handball there, by the way. I think Sheffield United, based on this second half, have been decent, but still half an hour to go in this game. Have a quick roundup of all the other scores at the moment. We're on 113,400 subscribers, so we could hit 113,500 today. Bottom right hand corner, smash a subscribe, get involved. Got a big year ahead on this channel. This is the channel where everybody is invited. It doesn't matter what club you support. We do all sorts of different watch-alongs as well. We do Champions League when they're back. Euros, the plan is to do every single game of the Euros as a watch-along. We did it for the World Cup a couple of years ago. It was great fun. And looking forward to that in the summer. So loads to get involved in. Everybody's welcome. Don't want to see any abusing of each other. Doesn't matter what club you support. It's all about having a bit of banter and a bit of chat. And we have got some Premier League updates for you. So Wolves have pulled a goal back in the Southampton game. They were 2-0 down at half time. Neto has netted 1 back, pardon the pun. And Crystal Palace is still 1-0 up in the game against Manchester City, which, I mean, this is the problem with Manchester City. Just when you think that they're coming back, they go and pull out these sort of results. And I think they've got a massive problem with inconsistency at West Ham. But, yeah, 1-0 to Crystal Palace still. 1-0 against in Brighton's game against Aston Villa. That's still 1-0. Arsenal 1-0 up here. West Ham 1-1 with Everton. So, yeah, that's how it's going in those at the moment. Real Madrid are winning 1-0 apparently as well. They were 0-0 at half-time against Sevilla. Up the Arsenal, up the Arteta, says Zayn Miasi. Be a big 3 points for you, Zayn, and Arsenal fans. A big 3 points for you. Puts you level on Spurs. Puts you level with Wolves. 31 points, presuming that Wolves do lose. And only 3 points behind Manchester United. And if they lose tomorrow, 3 points behind Manchester United. I don't think top four's there, though. At this rate, Arsenal will win the EPL before United does, says Josh Sutton. They're going to need to spend some money first. I still think a decent team will beat Arsenal. Leeds lost today. Do you still see them going up, or will they fall away like last season, says Jordan Such? I'll have a look at the league, actually, Jordan, because I'm not too sure about the Championship. Leeds did fall away badly, and when you've done it once before, it becomes a bit of a mindset thing, doesn't it? So, I mean, look, I was very impressed with Leeds against Arsenal in the Cup, and yet they still lost. So they're on 52 points, Leeds, and Fulham are on 48. So yeah, long way to go, and they could be caught. They could be caught. Just having a look at the National League now. Get out. What do you want? I want the National League. Solihull Moors are dropping out of the bloody playoffs now as well. Bunch of prats. I'll tell you what league I haven't had a look at in ages. La Liga. I mean, Barcelona were joint top when he got the sack as well. I can't believe that. I don't think getting rid of him was a bad idea, Barcelona's manager, by the way. But they were joint top of the league and in the latter stages of the Champions League. So it was somewhat funny. Yeah. Serie A. Juventus and Inter Milan, 2 points between them. I'll tell you what, to be fair, Lazio are doing well as well. They're only 3 points off the top. Lazio, Inter Milan and Juventus only separated by 3 points. You know, Juventus are normally tearing it apart. And Wolves have got a penalty, so they could equalise. Unlucky Arsenal, you won't be going level with them then. Shambone motherfucker. Hey everybody, can I just tell you something? Are you on Instagram? If you're on Instagram, you can see I'm on 34.9 thousand followers. Are you on Instagram? Question 1. If you are on Instagram, give me a follow on Instagram at Goldbridge Mark. I want to get to 35,000 followers. It's annoying me. I've been on 34.9 for about 3 hours. I want to get to 35,000. Do it for me. At Goldbridge Mark on Instagram. Give us a follow and help me get there. That would be really appreciated. I'm also interested how many people are on Instagram, because I've only really started using it properly this year, 2020. And I do little stories on there. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll do an experiment actually. Let's do an experiment. Just to give you all a shout out. Hello everybody, I've not joined Goldie Looking Chain. I'm actually doing a live stream at the moment. I'm on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, for the 3 PM kickoffs. So come and join me and have a good time. And I'm just talking to my live chat now. Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, YouTube. Doing a live stream at the moment. I'm on Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, for the 3 PM kickoffs. God, I need a shave. I need a I right proper need a shave. So yes, apparently I've hit 35k as well. Let's have a look. Well, the system works. The system works, pal. Yay! There you go. Good stuff. I'm putting up all them memes on at the moment on Instagram as well. 35k. Thanks everyone. Let's see if we get a boost on the viewing figures from people coming over from YouTube and going, oh, I didn't know he was on. So we're on 3,760 at the moment. Let's see if we get higher from people coming from Insta. Sisman says that City look like they don't want to win. I'll tell you what, that would be a turn up for the books. That would be a turn up for the books because Wolves are 2-2. Raul Jimenez scores the penalty to square it up. That would really piss Southampton off. But if Crystal Palace were to win, they would go into 7th place on 32 points. And Arsenal would stay in 10th, even though they're winning. So very congested is what I would say. Mark, guess how many followers Ronaldo has? Says Timmy H. I'll have a look. Sen Gaming Boy says Dortmund game done. Haaland with a hat trick as a Norwegian. I'm bloody delighted. As a United fan, not so much. Yeah, we did want him. Watching this while soaking digestives in hot tea, says Eric. Sounds good. Out of all the English teams in the Champions League, who has the hardest tie in your opinion, Mark? Says Jordan Such. I can't remember. I'd say the Real Madrid game. Real Madrid playing Man City. I think that's going to be an interesting game. That will be an interesting game. How many Instagram followers do we think that Ronaldo has got? I think that Ronaldo has got, I'm not looking, 40 million. Ronaldo. Here we go. Oh, nowhere near. I'm nowhere near. 189 million. 198 million. He had 20,000 comments on his last upload. God, he must bloody rake it in. It doesn't even need to be a footballer. If you've got 198 million followers on Instagram, he doesn't even need to play football. Quality Street would give him at least £1,000 just to tweet something out. I'm joking. Can Sheffield score? Says not Salim. I mean, they've been quite close to scoring this second half, but I do actually feel, I don't know about you lot, I do feel that Arsenal are going to keep another clean sheet. Can't believe that penalty for Arsenal. We've got a penalty for Arsenal here. I can't believe that Manchester City have not equalised against Palace yet. Looks like another bit of points going. No, it's not a penalty for Arsenal. Ollie's punching the air right now, says Stego. Don't know why. Well, he might be punching the wall after not about Haaland. What are we thinking about this one then? About 20 minutes to go, and I do think that Sheffield United are having a go at this, but I'm just seeing the penalty back there. I can see why people thought it might be a penalty, but Mike Dean didn't give it, of course, so it's just up for VAR renewal, really. Just watching it back. I don't know why it's not a penalty for Arsenal, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. I've got to say, how is that not a penalty? Am I the only one? Rivalry aside, I'm going to even tweet this. Rivalry aside, how the hell is that not a penalty? And I think that's the problem, isn't it? The rule on penalties has become confusing now for fans because they've changed it again. They've changed something else whereby contact, it's all deemed about whether there's enough to go down or whether he'd lost possession of the ball. Losing possession of the ball doesn't mean it's not a foul, by the way. You know, if I pass the ball to Matic 10 yards away and an Arsenal player comes and kicks me after the ball's gone, possession of the ball's irrelevant. It's a fucking foul. So I don't get it. No penalty for City as well. But yeah, I don't get that. In fairness to Arsenal, I just do not understand the penalty rule anymore. And it's always, you know, it'll be funny if Arsenal draw, but I've got to say I thought it was a penalty, and I don't really understand the penalty rule anymore. He cuts inside. The Sheffield United defender leaves his leg out. He goes over his leg. He doesn't dive over his leg. There's contact. He goes over his leg, and they don't give a penalty. They don't even VAR review it. Mad. Arsenal looking like they're going to get a second goal at the moment, though. I think first half of this second half, Sheffield United were looking good, but I think the Sheffield United have probably gone a little bit gung-ho second half, which is leaving opportunities for Arsenal to attack a little bit more. Mate Nielsen says, wait till you see the penalty for City, and it's not been given as well. Oh dear, safe you can go. Unless your team's name starts with an L, VAR is not your friend, says Byron Hall. Few people saying it wasn't a penalty. I don't know which penalty you're talking about here. If you want to, I presume the handball for. I mean, David JS says it's not. Do they have new penalty rules? I don't know what the penalty rules are now. If someone can explain to us why Man City's penalty wasn't a penalty and Arsenal's penalty wasn't a penalty, then maybe we can discuss it, because right now it's very difficult to know. And Keita is on and Lacazette is off, says Element 82002. And not long left in these games now, about 20 minutes. So 20 minutes for Pep to try and get something back in the game. Z says newspapers are reporting that Poch is in touch with the United management. It appears that they are not sacking Ollie as they would wait till the summer. Yeah, well, we were talking about that on the United stand on Monday. I've been told by two separate people. One of them's Phil Brown, who works over in America and has got sources who are pretty deep into Manchester United, saying that discussions have been going up with Pochettino. I don't think that's the breaking news that people think it is, you know. I think that's just continuity. I think United want to stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I think they have had conversations with Pochettino in relation to, you know, if it continues to go the way it is, Ole will have to go in the summer. If he can improve things, he may stay. Eto says both scenarios would have been penalties if they'd happened to Liverpool. Today's Pep's birthday as well, says H. Oh dear, oh dear. MEFC United says, being a Manchester United fan, I'm getting depressed. Look, I do think we'll sign Bruno Fernandes. I just think, regardless of us signing him or not, we've been through an emotional roller coaster yet again. Dog Film says, have you heard the rumours that Rashford may be out for 9 to 10 months? I've heard the rumours. I don't believe the rumours. I think he'll play tomorrow. 360 FPS says it was never a penalty for City. He tackled and the ball bounced and hit his hand in the City game. That sounds fair enough. If someone can justify why Pepe's wasn't a penalty, for anybody who hasn't seen it, he's running down the right. He cuts inside. Sheffield United player leaves his foot out, and the Pepe goes over the foot and falls to the ground. There is contact there. There's another player there for Sheffield United, and it looked like he was about to make a legit tackle. But the reality is, the loss of possession is irrelevant. Villa have equalised, so up the Villa. Some massive games for down the bottom. Villa are playing Watford on Tuesday night, which is going to... Watford, what a week they've got. They've just played Spurs. They're playing Villa away on Tuesday night. They've got to play Tranmere away Thursday night, and then if they win that, they've got to play United in the FA Cup. So 4 games in 8 days for Watford. And apparently Wolves have gone ahead 3-2. How the hell have Southampton blown that? Wolves have done very well. Wolves have done really well because I think Wolves are a good team, but I watched them against United obviously in the week, and I just felt that they were a little bit toothless. Pardon the pun. Basking sharks, but muzzled. Anyone else about Wolves we can think about? Yes, I am on the United stand at 8 o'clock tonight, by the way. You can join me there. It's I tell you what, as well with Wolves, fair play, because I think their big problem against United in both the FA Cup games is they just didn't look like they could score goals. I think they were the better team in both games at times, but they just looked a little bit toothless. So I've said that twice now. It's because they're dogs. It's because they're dogs. Oh, yeah. Tell you what I'm really enjoying as well. Say it again. It's more useful for this channel. The Witcher. Pass a coin to your Witcher. So we've got about 15 minutes left in all the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Norwich are now down to 10 men, says Abdul. So it's 10 against 10 in that game. 1-0. Bournemouth losing 1-0. I mean, Norwich are definitely going to go down anyway. I've never played any of the Witcher games, no. I think that makes it better if you have. I quite enjoy it. It reminds me a bit of Lord of the Rings. Sky Sports apparently saying that Pepe initiated the contact with the defender, hence it wasn't a penalty. I don't believe anything Sky Sports say. Don't worry, I'm not moody about the Bruno Fernandes deal at all. Our valley of plenty. 0-0. Pass a coin to your Witcher. Oh, valley of plenty. Amav Sangay says that Mark, reports are that United will not sign Bruno Fernandes because it will affect their summer plans. So that story I've read is that United don't want to overpay for Bruno Fernandes now because it'll affect their signings in the summer. So basically, if they pay 80 million for Bruno Fernandes now, then Dortmund will say we want 120 million for Sancho. So they're trying to keep prices down effectively. That's what they're trying to do. What's The Outsider about? Dog films. We can have a look on phone. Do a walkthrough of The Witcher 3, says Vaz. Here's a good question from Reed Jackson. Mark, if you were Ollie, what would you say to Woodward? I'd say, you're a useless prick, and just walk away. That's what I think. Less is more. I'd just walk up to him and go, and as he put his hand out, I'd go, you're a useless prick, and walk away. That's it. Because he is. He wanted Haaland, he's not delivered it, and now he's messing around with Bruno. Mark, do you watch the show Mindhunter? Says Nazlaf. I'm going to watch it. Apparently they've stopped filming series 3, haven't they? Ozark is at the end of March. Looking forward to the season 3 of that. It's looking like Arsenal are going to get the points here. 10 minutes to go. Sheffield United still not got anything. It'd be a very good 3 points for Arsenal this, and I think it would be the sort of 3 points that Arsenal fans would go, very unlike Arsenal to grind a result like this out at home. So yeah, Man City still losing to Crystal Palace, and they may as well just hand the title to Liverpool, haven't they? I wonder if they're just that lack of motivation is there because the title's gone. Norwich still beating Bournemouth 3-2 to Wolves, 1-1 Everton and West Ham, 1-1 Villa and Brighton. Grealish with the goal. And Jimenez got the 3rd goal for Wolves, if you're interested in that. Chelsea team news out. Mount, Jorginho and Kante, midfield 3. Willian, Abraham and Hudson-Odoi as the front 3. Azpilicueta, Rudiger, Christensen and James. And Kepa is the keeper. Man City have equalised. It's a late equaliser and it's Sergio Aguero. They've got 10 minutes to go and win it as well. Hard on Crystal Palace, but there's still time as well. I think we might have a Sheffield United equaliser as well, which would be great. Let's see. I'm a little bit behind on this one. Probably just about deserve it, to be fair, as well. Well, I think we have got an equaliser in the from Sheffield United, actually. Thanks, everybody, for telling us that. Guendouzi just warming up. But, yeah, sets it up nice for the last 10. And I've given it the kiss of death. Arsenal fans are not going to like me, are they? I was saying this would almost be Arsenal fans satisfied with a 1-0 because it's been a very equal game. But if you're grinding it out, it's not something that Arsenal normally do. Well, it's not something Arsenal do either because it looks like they've let in an equaliser. Should just be about to see it here. Sheffield United. It's not a clean strike. He's on the far left-hand side. Fleck for Sheffield United. He's very happy with himself. He's rolling around. Drops him on the back post and hits it into the ground. Deflects about. Zane says, I'm fuming. It's ruined my Saturday. You've got time. You've got time. I think there's time for another goal. See if you can blame anybody. Arsenal defensively. Cross comes in. I think either Maitland-Niles or Mustafi has got to do better on the shot and get their body in the way. But it's 1-1. I do think Arsenal should have had a penalty. I totally agree with that. Actually, you know what? Watching that volley back, the technique was really good. He blasted it into the ground. It didn't deflect off anybody. So, good one. Dylan Hanafi says, thanks for the memories, Arteta, but it's time to go. To be fair to Arsenal, they could have had a penalty. I don't want Arsenal to win, obviously, because I don't want them to catch Manchester United. But even I saw that penalty incident with Pepe and would say it was a penalty. But what do I know about the modern rule? So we've got 1-1 in Arsenal and Sheffield United, and we've got 1-1 now in Crystal Palace and Manchester City. Will either team grab a late winner, or will they both end up in a draw? Let's wait and see. Hello. Golden goal. What would I say if Manchester United signed nobody? I wouldn't be surprised. I think we will sign Bruno Fernandes. I'm just frustrated with how long the deal's taking. Zayn Miassi, glad to hear you're fuming. Enjoy your Saturday, says Jordan as such. There's a bit of a rivalry between Jordan and Zayn. Hopefully it's a healthy one. A bit like United versus Arsenal. But and apparently City have made it 2-1. That was... How many times has that happened before? I predicted City were going to win that game 3 or 4-1. And I think the frustrating thing when you're 80 minutes gone, and Crystal Palace are winning 1-0, and then the inevitable happens that they come back and win it. If Bruno does sign, what does that mean for Gomez? Says Johnny Wilson. I think Gomez is leaving Manchester United anyway. 2-1 to City. Aguero has scored it then, and another 2 goals for him. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make a massive amount of difference, does it? Nobody's catching Leicester, City and Liverpool anyway in the top 3, and City are not going to catch Liverpool for the title, so it doesn't make a massive amount of difference. Sheffield United are looking more likely to score here at the moment against Arsenal in that game. Haaland scored 3 for 3, God's sake, says U Grande. Yeah, good for him. Come on, Arsenal. Come on, Boris. Down with Labour, says Amy. I've told him to stop doing political things. We're not interested in that. That's all done. You've already won the election, Zane. Forget about it. Curtis Hicks says, I'm here from your story on Insta, Mark. Any Rashford update for tomorrow? See, it works. The system works. I said to people on Insta to come over here, and they did. The Rashford thing is weird. There's a tweet been put out by some dodgy account saying that Rashford's out for the season with a fractured back. But I mean, at 10:30 tonight there is embargoed section from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but that's yesterday morning, so I don't think we're going to get anything from that. I don't. So I think it's a nonsense. I think Rashford will play tomorrow night. This time tomorrow, won't it be? We'll just be kicking off. We'll be 15 minutes in. Remember, you can join me tomorrow on the United Stand, 4:30, watch along for Liverpool against Manchester United. Interesting game, which I think a lot of Manchester United fans are not focused on. It's like the Wolves game on Wednesday. We watched it and we were happy to win it, but just this transfer has just sort of taken over everybody's life. And again, another day, another twist. Haaland hat-trick in 20 minutes, says Charlie Welsh. Yeah, very good. Over 4,000 watching again, which is fantastic for a 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon game, because I know a lot of people are busy. Please do smash a subscribe on the button, bottom right-hand corner. You can subscribe. We're only 30 away from 113,500. So if you are new, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't know this channel existed, everybody's welcome on here. We do watch-alongs for all sorts of games. Topical videos. I did a combined Liverpool United video the other day. Premier League preview every week. And also, what else? Palace have equalised, I think. Palace have equalised. Yes, they have. Newsflash. Wow. That is interesting. Zaha with the goal. What a game that is for Match of the Day later. But subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Help us get to 113,500. We'll be doing every Euros game as a watch-along in the summer. Next watch-along after this is Chelsea-Arsenal on, I think it's Tuesday night. And we might do Wolves versus Liverpool on Thursday. Can Wolves be the team to beat Liverpool? I don't know. 2-2 in the Pep game, and they're into extra time there. It is quite cold today with a Red Hen 32. It is quite cold today. I'm feeling it. So let's have a look at what's going on. Obviously, we've got the equaliser for Crystal Palace. They've hit back. It's 2-2 in that game. It's 1-1 in West Ham and Everton. It's 3-2 to Wolves away to Southampton from 2-0 down. 1-1 Villa. Good point for Villa that would be against Brighton. Sheffield United have nearly bloody scored here. I mean, they've had a good couple of blocks there from Arsenal. Good couple of blocks. It was an own goal actually for Manchester City that's allowed the scores to be levelled up there from 1-0 down. City 2-1, and then Crystal Palace have gone on equaliser virtually straight away. But the long road of improvement for Arsenal is still going to be a long road of improvement. They would have hoped to have held out and got a draw here, but get a win here. But to be honest with you, I don't think they deserve it. I think a draw is at least of what Sheffield United deserve, if I'm honest with you. It was a Fernandinho own goal. 3 minutes of added time in the Arsenal game, by the way. Palace looking like they're going to get a very good point. And Sheffield United have looked more likely like they're going to get a goal, but I don't think they will. I think Arsenal will hold out and get a point here. Better chances coming to Sheffield United in these last few minutes. Our defence is a joke, says Zamiati. And we've got full time. A lot of people saying it's full time. I think in relation to Man City dropping points to Crystal Palace, all it means is it's a case of when Liverpool are going to win the league, which I think we all know, but like literally when will Liverpool win the league? I think people need to start figuring it out. When will they win the league? Because they're probably going to win the league title earlier than anybody's ever won the title before. It's still the title, by the way. I don't think you get any extra points for winning it early. So I wonder if that takes it away from Liverpool winning the title, or would you rather win it in like March and just be celebrating it for 2 months? But Sheffield United doing what Sheffield United do, getting a point. Well, no, they get more than a point. To be fair, that's not what I meant. I mean, Sheffield United doing what they do and impressing in what they do. Let me just show you the league table. So Arsenal still not on 30 points. They had an opportunity to do that today. 29 points for Arsenal as things stand. That leaves them still 2 points behind Spurs and 5 points behind Manchester United. Crystal Palace with their points are above them on 9th. Arsenal stay in 10th. Sheffield United move up to 33 points, but Wolves leapfrog them on 34 points. They're now level with Manchester United in 6th. And Liverpool are 13 points ahead of Manchester City, but still they have got now 2 games in hand. They could be 19 points ahead of Manchester City if they win those 2 games in hand. Liverpool go after the Champions League, says K2 Egg. Yeah, definitely. And Palace draw 2-2 with Manchester City. So there you go. Thanks everyone for watching. Enjoyable stream. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're new. There is a video on the United Stand. If you want all the updates of Bruno Fernandes and where things are at the moment, check out my video on the United Stand. That's been up for a couple of hours now. Just go to the United Stand and watch it. And I will be live on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. I shall speak to you all soon. Yeah, thank you.